What if I told you that the most successful people aren't more driven, they're just more manipulated by their own minds? There's a dark secret behind obsession, one that turns ambition into addiction, motivation turned into madness. You've heard of dopamine hits from social media, sex, and food, but what happens when your brain starts getting high on goals? Let's talk about dopamine fasting. Not the trendy Silicon Valley detox, but the real twisted version, used by cult leaders, by dictators, by people who want complete control over the human mind. When you deprive the brain of reward, even temporarily, it becomes hypersensitive to motivation. That's why some people can work 20-hour days. They've trained their brains to crave the high of success. This is the same mechanism that powers addiction, the same one that makes gamblers lose their lives and makes visionaries change the world. The line between obsession and genius is thinner than you think. So, are you motivated or are you being manipulated by your own brain? Let's get into the science. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical, but that's not exactly true. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about anticipation. It's the fuel that drives you to chase something. Every time you achieve a goal, big or small, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. That's the reward system. But when you deprive the brain of that reward, it becomes desperate for it. Imagine your brain like a gambler at a slot machine. The more times it pulls the lever without winning, the more it needs to pull it again. That's the essence of obsession. This is why some people become obsessed with goals, not because they're disciplined, but because they've trained their brains to crave the next win. Let's look at a real-life example. There was a study done at MIT on high achievers. They found that the most successful people had a strange habit. They denied themselves small pleasures on purpose. One subject, a startup founder, stopped watching TV, listening to music, even talking to friends. He said it made him hungrier for success. But after 6 months, he was working 22-hour days. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. All he could think about was winning. It was powerful, but it was also scary because I didn't feel like me anymore. I remember sitting at my desk at 3 a.m., staring at a screen, and I asked myself, is this me or is this my brain on goals? Here's the danger. This trick works too well because your brain doesn't know the difference between a life-changing goal and a pointless obsession. Some people end up chasing things that no longer bring them joy. They're not motivated by passion anymore. They're chasing a chemical. Addiction is not about the high. It's about the need for the next hit. If you're not careful, you won't stop until you burn out. So how do you use this psychological trick without losing yourself? Rule number 1, set a goal that actually matters to you. Don't chase something just because it looks good on paper. Make sure it aligns with who you are. Otherwise, you'll end up chasing a phantom. Rule number 2, give yourself real breaks. Yes, deprivation can fuel obsession, but too much of it can destroy your sanity. Schedule real rewards, real rest. Your brain needs to reset. Rule number 3, know when to stop. The most dangerous part of this trick is that your brain never feels full. It always wants more. So you have to decide when enough is enough. Motivation isn't always a good thing. When twisted by the mind, it can become an obsession, a monster, a prison. So ask yourself, are you chasing your goals, or is your brain chasing something it can never catch? Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another mind shock. Let me know in the comments.